Bloomberg news agency ran a shock horror headline saying, Hong Kong public consultation lists Facebook YouTube ban. What? Hong Kong is discussing banning Facebook and YouTube? Shocking news. But it wasn't true. The government never considered that for a second. Among a vast number of notes from the public, somebody suggested it, maybe even a Bloomberg staff member. And that's all it was. To make that into the headline was a straightforward case of deception. Bloomberg later said that this was an error. Except it wasn't an error. The suggestion did exist. What Bloomberg chose to do with it was wrong. Now, a follow-up article made it clearer that the ban was a suggestion from the public and added, authorities stopped short of endorsing that view, as if the authorities were almost ready to do that, but at the last moment stopped short. That's dishonest. They didn't stop short. They never considered it for a moment. The article also says that Hong Kong has closed several critical media outlets. Really, that's not true either. Now, not all Bloomberg articles are deceptive like these ones. Some play it straight, but sadly many don't. Number 1. Last month, Bloomberg reported that Hong Kong Airport's second passenger concourse was running way behind schedule and would not be in use until as late as 2026. Trouble was, this wasn't true at all. Hong Kong engineers were baffled at the claim, saying that the project would probably be finished later this year. Number 2, when the pandemic started and there was a rush on toilet paper in Hong Kong, Bloomberg printed an article saying Hong Kong was a failed state, which went viral. But as we all know, this was followed by an identical rush on toilet paper in nations around the world. And a New Scientist journal report which said that the place which had dealt with the pandemic most successfully was Hong Kong. Number 3, shortly afterwards, the same Bloomberg writer, Clara Marks, wrote an article saying that everyone was leaving Hong Kong, but she gave no figures or context. Why? Because more people left London and New York than left Hong Kong at that time. Of course, Bloomberg didn't report that. Number 4, in 2022, Bloomberg printed a viral article that Hong Kong had the world's highest COVID fatality rate, gleefully regurgitated by the Hong Kong Free Press and the Western media. But the truth was very different. First, that title jumps around day by day, and Bloomberg could have picked any period over several years and highlighted any place as having the world's highest fatality rate on that date. But they didn't. Bloomberg saved it up just for Hong Kong. Okay. Second, what Bloomberg did was to compare the climb of Hong Kong's bell curve with the flat part of other countries' data. In fact, what had happened was that Hong Kong had successfully fought off a major COVID wave for 2 years, delaying the onset of our bell curve. So Bloomberg was actually using Hong Kong people's achievement against us. Number 5, remember when the US passed a shockingly unfair law saying that all products made in Xinjiang would be assumed to have been made by slave labour and thus were automatically illegal? Bloomberg reported that garments from astonishingly successful clothing firm Shein were made using Xinjiang cotton and thus should be banned. Now, Bloomberg didn't just report that story, it created that story. Laboratory testing conducted for Bloomberg News on 2 occasions this year found that garments shipped to the US by Shein were made with cotton from China's Xinjiang region. Bloomberg wasn't reporting the news, but enabling a highly controversial US commerce attack on free market capitalism. Whereas still, this was an attack on the Chinese Uyghurs, thinly disguised as a bid to help them. 6, when the wrong music instead of the Chinese national anthem was played at a sports event, Bloomberg opinion columnist Matthew Brooker could not hide his delight. Magnificent, he tweeted. You know, I could go on, but I think you get the point. As I say, Bloomberg also prints many good pieces of actual journalism too. But its general attitude to this part of the world is uncomfortably hostile. Anyway, readers now are having a good laugh about all this, and we have a suggestion for the next Bloomberg article on Hong Kong. A reader is planning to send a suggestion to the government, which Bloomberg can then use for a dramatic headline. Here, we've even made a mock-up of it to make it easy. Hong Kong bans cutlery. Now, only chopsticks allowed. Please